Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, Virgo. So tonight we have the Two of Cups, which has everything to do with love, right? The pursuit of love, the engagement of love, and just kind of really existing in that place of love. Now, it does not have to be romantic. Let me just say that. Does not have to be romantic, and this probably will not be a love reading. I don't usually do a lot of love readings, but who knows? We'll have to see what the tea leaves have to say. But I know there are a lot of people, you come on here and you think, okay, I want to see this reading. Please don't be about love. Well, I'm here to tell you and remind you, because I know you know, there are a lot of kinds of love. And so this can represent any of those, really. Okay, so let's take a look. What are the tea leaves going to say tonight? And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. All right, so let's start with up here. We have what looks like a ram. Immediately I saw we have a ram. Now, we might be dealing with an Aries. We might be really just dealing with the energy of that ram, of that goat, right? The ram is a goat, right? No, it's not. It's a sheep, isn't it? I always mix them up. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure. What is a ram? And it also just might be like the name of a dominant male ram animal. Now this is showing me ram for the computer. I know. I'm over here Googling immediately, trying to figure this out. And you'll have to forgive me. Okay? It is a sheep. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it is a sheep. These two, and listen, the first Google thing says, is it a sheep or a goat? Yes, I know, it's a sheep. But they do have, symbolically, anyways, they do have similar qualities. And what I was going to say, you'll have to forgive me, I have not done a reading in, I think 3 days, 4 days maybe. That is the longest it's been in years, right? So I've been out of town with my husband. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. I'm getting back into the groove of things. So thank you, Virgo. I know you are patient. I am one of you. I am a solar Virgo as well. And, of course, when people think of us Virgos, they think, oh yeah, those are very patient people, right? All right, let's see. So we have the ram. Now next to the ram, it looks like we have a skull. You can see kind of the outline here. Here are the eyes, the nose, the mouth would be down here. There's also the number 8 right in here, you can see. Okay, so what is this telling us? Okay, I don't exactly get the energy that this is about death, like an actual physical ending, transmutation from body into the next, right? No, I don't think so. I think really what this is putting an end to something that does not belong in your life, okay? We have the ram. The ram is really all about fortitude, right? Strength, fortitude, being kind of real courageous, but also, yeah, being okay with being a little bit of a wallflower, kind of existing in the background of things. And I really feel like that's very much what we are like as Virgos. Okay? We like to run things. Of course we do, because we're good at it. But we don't need to be in the limelight. I don't want to be the face of things, right? Probably why I'm not on video when I do my readings. I don't want to be looked at. I don't want people, commenting. I don't, whatever it is. I don't want people looking at me, but I do like to be in charge. Don't you? Because it's what we're really made for, right? Now, I don't know if that means like going out and getting a job where you're like running a company, you are, in a high management position. That might be the case. This might be that you run your household, you're running your life efficiently, these kinds of things. It can be applied to all of the sectors of our life. But I do feel like there has been this moment recently where you have realized whatever it is that you would consider, right, something important to you, something that you are very engaged in, like, your relationships, your household, the domestic issues, like I said, your work, your hobbies, your social life, whatever it is, right? These are all important things. But somewhere in there, you've come to this awakening. And it wasn't just like all of a sudden. You knew this was coming. But something has to end. Now, if it's quitting the job, if it's leaving the relationship, if it's, I don't know, maybe you go to a certain church and you've decided, I like this I like this congregation, or the pastor, or whoever, whatever it is, there's something that keeps me here, but maybe it's time for me to go find something else, go try some other places, see what everybody else is doing, right? I feel like it's like a wind of adventure in the air. Right? Not just like the atmosphere is just lingering, kind of hanging out. No, this is like you open the window, you open the door, and it almost blew you over. Right? I can see you deciding it's time for something else. I don't know what exactly. This is you saying that. I don't know what exactly, but I know I want to try something else. Okay? So I see an ending happening. Now, does that make it easy because you already know and you've already decided and you're on that road? No. Even in the best case scenario, right? It still can feel like we are losing something. For me, I moved this last, I don't remember, it was March, maybe February or whatever. And the place that I moved to with my family, I love it. I loved it before we even moved in. But it was hard because I liked where I was, and it wasn't perfect. It didn't work for us anymore, right? We needed something else. But the whole process of it, it was exciting. It was a lot of work. I was, dreaming big dreams about what the future was going to be. I was still mourning a little bit, right? Because I had gotten used to where we were. Mostly because I fed the squirrels and the birds. And I was very sad about leaving them. But sometimes that just is what it is, And I feel like that's the energy here. It's like you're not fighting against something else necessarily, but I think you are fighting against really clinging to the sense of safety and stability that you've created in your mind around whatever this is. So if it's a job that you might be leaving, that makes sense. It's scary to quit a job. It's also the best feeling in life, but it's also scary, right? So I feel you really mustering up that courage And it doesn't take a lot because you are a courageous being. I know that, Virgo. We are very, very, I don't know. What's the word? What is the word? I was going to say heroic, but it's not heroic. But I do feel like, yeah, sometimes we can take those heroic leaps, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to keep turning this. Now, I did see that this looks like a mountain range as well. Okay, so we have, yeah, some trials and tribulations coming up. Not a terrible thing though, right? This is how we figure things out, right? I feel like out of all of the signs, Virgos are really good at facing our ordeals. Now, do we love having problems and things to, try to navigate? Yeah, not always, right? But when we do, when we're going through these troubles, when we are trying to figure it all out, get it all working smoothly, this is where we find our blessings. So we have the mountain range, and we have this energy of kind of things going up, going down. It's not all, well, right? It's not all bliss. It's not all joy all the time. And we know that. We're very earthy people. We understand. Yeah, we have our heads in the clouds quite often, of course. But our feet are on the ground. We're realistic. Okay? For the romantics that we are, for the dreamers that we are, for the innovators and creatives that Virgos are, we are very down to earth about things. We're very honest about what things really are. We're not going to look at something and say, oh yeah, I can get that done in, a day. No. If it's a job that's going to take a week, we're going to say it's going to take a week. Heck, it might take 10 days because it's realistic. Okay? So I see you going up this mountain. Yeah, and you'll summit it a few times. There are a lot of peaks up there. And sometimes it's going to feel like you're tumbling down one of those crevasses, right? One of those incline, or is it incline? Yeah. No. Yes. Yes. Tumbling down it, right? And so be prepared. But we like a challenge. I don't know about you. I'm excited when I know there's something tough coming. Now, am I tired? Do I groan? Do I whine? Yes, absolutely. But I know it's going to be worth it. I know it. All right, let's see. Now, we also have, and I want to look at this up here. It looks like it says RNK. I don't know what that means. It might be part of a word, it might be the initials of somebody important, but RNK. Now, we also have, I feel, a best friend, a good friend, visiting, okay? Running towards you. So I feel like this is going to be a period of time here where you are going to be kind of very engaged with your favorite people, okay? Maybe doing stuff for the holidays, maybe just really making that time to be around. You have some of your family stuff and your different social things you're engaged in, and then you have your hangs with your best friends, right? Because that's what balances out all of the craziness of the family stuff and the work stuff and the friends stuff, or well, more like acquaintances kind of stuff. And so I do lean into that. Really activate that support system that you have with your friends group. Okay? That's a command. I know this time of year, if you're in the northern hemisphere especially, I know in the south it's very warm by now. It's summer after all. And You know, maybe it's not so much like this right now there, but up here in the northern hemisphere, when it's cold and the days are darker, they're very short right now. Gosh, yesterday it was getting dark at like 4:30. I mean, I know I'm, you know, 100 years old basically. I've been through a lot of winters. But yeah, it always is very striking to me when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock and it's getting dark. But yeah, during this part of the year, I think a lot of us just try to suck it up, right? I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to be that downer. I don't want people to feel like they have to like take care of me or be careful with me. You know, all these things. Well, what I have to say is throw that out the window. Get it all swept up into a pile on the floor because it is garbage. It is garbage. Yeah, sweep it up into that pan and throw it away. Because if you feel like you need the support, if you are lonely, if you are struggling, if you are feeling melancholy, reaching out, being open and honest about how you're feeling. Now, you don't have to go on like the social medias and tell everybody, unless you want to, of course, right? Go out there, say it, speak your truth. But if you're more of a private person, I am, you know, I'm the same way. And I think a lot of us Virgos kind of are. We don't really like to be out there telling everybody I'm struggling, right? Find your person. Find your support person. Now, I don't care if this is your therapist, your counselor, your religious leader, your sister, your mom, your, you know, grown-up children, your spouse, whoever it is. Heck, it could be somebody that you haven't talked to in 10 years and you reach out to them and you know, sometimes you just got to talk to somebody, even a stranger. You know, and in the business that I'm in, I have a lot of people who confide in me, you know, and I feel like that's one of the great privileges of my life, I'm going to be honest with you, to be somebody that people feel a kindredness to, that they might see me as a confidant, right? I've learned there are a lot of people out there who are suffering quietly. People who, well, I don't want to dox anybody or, you know, like share people's business. But I'll say somebody from my past, like way back, okay? I grew up around them thinking this is a person that is super popular, beautiful. Still, even to this day, so freaking gorgeous. You know, from the outside you would think, oh, they have a charmed life. They have everything, right? And come to find out, all these years later, you know, they were going through it. And they're going through it, you know, as an adult, like we all do. But they always felt like they had to keep this image up. And it was hard because they had to walk through life, trying to keep, you know, people around them happy and feeling comfortable. Keeping this image going. And that kind of, stress. The stress of that, the loneliness, the isolation. It's beyond heartbreaking in my eyes. And so I do. And let me just say, this person is amazing. They're doing well. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like you hear this from somebody who reached out to me randomly, right? And I was like, oh gosh, now I know one of the popular people. You know, but then we got to talking and it amazes me. You cannot judge people by what you perceive them to be or how they're living. You just have no idea. You have no idea. And all of this is to say, if you are struggling in any way, reaching out to somebody else and being open as much as you can, as much as you're comfortable with, it actually might be so much of a benefit to them as well, because honestly, I think that we all kind of forget. Everybody is going through something. And when somebody is brave enough to knock on that door, to pick up that phone, to send that text, to make that call, it allows you, or it allows the other person, space to speak their truth as well. And you might be surprised that they might be going through it just as much as you are. So we need to lift each other up. But first it starts with us deciding to communicate how we're feeling. I know it's not easy, but I feel like you are surrounded by people who love you. And I feel like there are people who are very receptive. They will be if they haven't been. We also have birds up here, lots of birds. So that tells me it really is a time that is so important to be communicating. And, you know, the other thing, I could go on about this forever, I know, but is checking in on our people. You know, especially people who've been going through things this year, even if they're over it. And here's the thing, I'm always that friend, like if somebody has a loss in their life, they've been through a medical thing, I always send flowers like a month after whatever happens, because I know, personally, I know what it's like when you get all that attention and everybody's checking on you, everybody's remembering you, and then, you know, the funeral has happened, you know, maybe you have fought your battle and you're like in remission or something, you know, whatever it is, and people stop calling, people stop messaging you, people stop seeing how you're doing from day to day. And so making it part of the service that we do for each other, making sure, yeah, you're checking in on the people that you know need that little bit of, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And here's the even more important part, checking on the people that feel like they don't need anybody to check on them. Because those people are usually the ones nobody asks, how are you doing? What's going on? So, anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look over here. My whole house, it smells like like pulled chicken or shredded chicken. I was thinking pulled pork. Shredded chicken. I'm so hungry. I always say I'm recording at night. So most of the time I am. Today it's in the morning, and I had to get up early to get this food going because we're having a little party for my acquired mom, and my stomach is grumbling. It's saying, hey, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Hopefully you can't hear it too much. Okay, so we have somebody with an A name. Their name starts with an A. And I'm thinking that this is somebody that is maybe very related to the air energy. So there's somebody that's very logical, very, like, I can imagine, like, into research. They get so into their own world that it almost feels like you have to you know, go looking for them down the rabbit hole. But I feel like there's a project coming up here, something to work on together. And I'm almost wondering if this is like a sibling or a good friend or somebody who feels like a peer, you know, like your contemporary, definitely. And I feel like there's going to be an opportunity for you to work together. And I think that this is going to be something that really ends up very successful for you, whatever that looks like. Now, if this is a hobby, if this is at work, if this is, you know, something in your personal life, like a remodeling or painting or, you know, whatever. But I feel like this is going to kind of open your mind up to further possibilities of creating. And maybe even a partnership with this person, because I don't think that you really work together that often, or maybe you have never worked on a project together. But I do feel like in this time, there's going to be kind of like, well, if you've ever had any kind of business with somebody or, you know, done anything, right? Chores or housework or, you know, getting the floors put in or the house painted or, you know, whatever, getting the car worked on, and you found a person that you don't have to like go back and forth. Like they're going to do what they say. You kind of vibe together. You can read each other's like, you know, body language. You can anticipate. It's just smooth for the most part. That's like, I mean, that's like finding your spouse, right? Now, maybe this is your spouse, but like it is finding a connection that we have so few of in our lives, right? And so when you kind of activate that kind of dynamic, ooh, what a blessing, okay? So I see this being very much something that is going to kind of propel you into other projects and activities together. Okay, here's our lucky numbers. We have number 91, 91, 41, 91, 41, 91, 41, 31. You can't make it up. Sometimes it just be like that. Wow. So I'm going to remember those ones for myself as well. All right. So we have our Wild Offering Oracle cards. These are from Tasha Silver. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to flip through. We're going to stop where it feels right. I'm just going to flip this over. It says despair. Okay. I need your divine intercession right now. O great Spirit, lift this darkness from my soul. Free me from this burden. Open me to your highest plan. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. Yeah, I like it. I need that. I need that kind of mantra, prayer, affirmation as well. That's perfect for today. All right. So, Virgo, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I think you know that. And I appreciate spending this time with you. It is really such a blessing for me. And also an honor, honestly. It really is an honor to be able to do readings for others. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. It is free. And if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. I read all of them. Absolutely, I do. And other than that, I'm going to say I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night. Well,